So now the billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk appears to be burning the candle at both ends. When asked about his recent purchase of Twitter and his ownership of Tesla, he told the B20 Business Summit in Bali that he is working from morning until night, 7 days a week. Watch.
My workload has recently increased quite a lot. I have too much work on my plate, that is for sure.
And they didn't bring up SpaceX, by the way.
You know, it's two things that I take away from this, right? The first thing that I take away from it is if this guy is able to run three massively successful companies or massively huge companies in SpaceX, Tesla, and Twitter all at the same time, while also having a bunch of kids busting down these chicks, including Amber Heard allegedly, and living this fast lifestyle, is no excuse for me. But then at the same time, I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I don't get to bed till 2 o'clock in the morning with my little lifestyle, right? And little compared to him, but not little in a general sense. The second thing is, it's too much pressure. It's too much pressure for one man to be able to handle as far as trying to fix platforms and trying to create the best opportunities possible for people to be able to communicate, have free speech, and also put out the best products in Tesla. You just have to have a really strong team, but at the same time, it's impossible for you to be able to have any kind of life that goes along with it. Work becomes your life. I was actually looking at an article. Let me share this article with you guys. I was actually looking at an article when it says that Musk demands Twitter staff commit to long hours or leave. He's leading by example. He's a servant leader, which basically says that he wants you to operate with the same sense of urgency that he has. Now, the one thing that's on his side is the fact that we are largely moving into a recession and layoffs and all of this other type of stuff, which would then justify because people can't go anywhere. And so one of the things that I'm telling people is that they need to sit still, stand pat, don't do too much as far as requiring for them to try to be switching and jumping jobs and all of that at the same time, because it's getting tumultuous out here. And I've known some people to join the diversity inclusion teams. Some of these companies, and these companies are absolutely laying off. So let me deep dive for a second into this. So it says that the new Twitter CEO and sole director, Elon Musk, sent a company-wide email to remaining employees of the social media business on Wednesday, demanding they commit to working long hours at high intensity or receive 3 months of severance if they did not consent to these conditions or support his vision for Twitter 2.0. So basically what he's saying is that the vacation is over. All of the hiding, all of the, putting myself in this bubble and just, you know how large companies are. It's a lot of bloatware. It's a lot of middle management. A lot of people don't really do any more than 2 or 3 hours of work a day max. And they have a whole lot of meetings that don't necessarily mean anything. So that's largely what he's saying. He's saying, listen, I'm leading from the front, but I'm also setting expectations that we got to create this great product. I'm sure he's saying that on the other side of it, maybe you'll be compensated handsomely if this thing goes well. But if you're going to be a part of this team, then this is the new expectations. Also, company-wide ultimatum sent around midnight in San Francisco time and shared with CNBC comes after Musk has already fired key Twitter executives, laid off half of Twitter's full-time employees, and slashed the number of contractors working at the company without notice. This week, he also fired veteran engineers at Twitter after they criticized them in public or in the company's internal Slack channels. There will be no democracy here, and you're not just going to be talking shit while we over here doing the work. Either you with us or against us, and I don't care what kind of role you play, you can be easily replaceable, or we can move on without you. Since Musk took over on October 28th, he has announced sweeping changes planned for Twitter. One change that he insisted the company roll out quickly is called the Twitter Blue verification. Had to be rescinded. It allowed for people to pay for a blue check mark that looked like the mark previously reserved to show an account was verified or official. And I'm guessing that this is one of the ways that he thought that he can get rid of the bots is by getting verified people or people to verify themselves while also raising money for the company, because the burn rate of Twitter is allegedly somewhere around like 1 million to 4 million a day or something like that. The deluge of impersonators bought the paid subscriber check marks to pose as legitimate celebrities, bands, and politicians. And in some cases, they posted false information about companies. Now, you know that people are going to troll and they'll spend money to do it nowadays. It's a whole other landscape that we living in. The interesting thing about that, though, is that I believe that there's two different types of verifications. So there's verifications in which organizations that are official can get a gray check mark, and then there's organizations in which you can buy to verify yourself, such as Twitter Blue, with the blue check mark. But that is to come. Look at this. For example, accounts impersonated by multinational drug company Eli Lilly. One impersonator caused a serious problem when they tweeted, "We're excited to announce insulin is free now." The tweet remained on social media platform for hours before it was taken down. The real Eli Lilly account said, "We apologize to those who have been served a misleading message from a fake Lilly account." Eli Lilly's stock price dropped sharply after the false message was posted. The company has decided to suspend advertising on Twitter indefinitely. Musk now plans to revise Twitter Blue Verify release. See, and that's the key. That's the problem. The problem is that the advertisers are owned by the trolls being activists, and then the advertisers can affect what's happening on Twitter, and it's just a cyclical problem in which they are identifying Twitter as the town square of being able to voice opinions and perspectives as far as what it is that people are able to communicate back and forth and get in touch with people. So I don't know. It's a weird situation to be in. I think that he has an impossible task. When people give you this responsibility, you should not take it lightly. And I'm wondering, I'm genuinely wondering, and maybe long term, this turns out to be a very good thing. If people were looking at this from a business perspective, and why company executives and board members and stock shareholders, you see now why they were eager to get up out of there, and they was trying to force a sale because they understand that the value of this company is probably not as good as some other people tried to identify it as. It's not a good situation. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. I think that he's doing a phenomenal job trying to rein things in as quickly as possible, especially when it's your own money that's being burned through, and trying to right the wrongs and right the ship. You can lose a whole lot of money, like Twitter has been losing since its public debut. You can lose a whole lot of money really fast, or you can lose less money in the interim, hoping to turn it around and raise the valuation of the company that ultimately would give us true free speech, but at what cost? At what cost? I'm curious as to what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Do you think that this was a good acquisition? Do you think that Elon Musk has too much on his plate? And he's running this thing with an iron fist. Again, the headline was, "Demands Twitter staff to commit to long hours or leave." It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I think that you guys are awesome. Thank you for rocking out with me. Let me know in the comments. Just dropped a new interview inside of the Patreon, and it is absolutely awesome. Specifically, it is the full uncensored interview with Lamar Odom. We had some candid conversations about money, about women, Ime Udoka, Kyrie Irving, everything. So make sure you tap into that. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. In addition to that, make sure you tap in and subscribe to the channel. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat for the Patreon. And then subscribe, turn on your notifications, and hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.